Our Unreal Editor for Fortnite Build Along Show. Sit back, relax, and build. I couldn't have made that more hard to get through if I tried. I am your host, Tina, and today with me I have our two wonderful builders, Heather and Josh. For those who might not be familiar, Heather, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Heather Storm. I manage the creator evangelism team here, and our job is to enable and inspire all of you to use UEFN to build your next great game.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And Josh, for those who may not be familiar, tell us a little bit about yourself as well, please.
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm Josh. I'm an evangelist on UEFN. I've been using these tools forever and Fortnite Creative forever. So I love getting in here and getting to build with you all.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time always. So, for today's topic, we're talking all about walkers and walker experiences, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, Walking Dead, let's go.
Yes. Some great tools came out that we're going to explore and walk through some cool stuff that you brought for us today. So, I'm not going to take up too much time just talking about it. I figure we can get right into it, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Um, there we go. So I put a little prep work into this island so that we can really focus on creating the gameplay. And it's kind of backwards because normally you do all the lighting and the artistic stuff afterwards. But I really love the ambience of like kind of horror islands and stuff. And so I wanted to make sure that whatever we made today was in like a nice, beautiful uh scary environment. So that's why you're kind of looking at like
Relaxing,
this finished
peaceful.
product right now.
Now, we did start this with the Walker Island template that's available. And then Josh came in, removed a bunch of buildings, moved some things around, but did want to mention that if you start with that artistic template, you can very easily start to manipulate it and kind of do some of the stuff that Josh did here, adding an extra landscape, adding in some trees, really just changing up the ambiance to look and feel more like the game we wanted to create, but we still created from that template to get started.
Yeah, so I turned the landscape into like this massive island. I really loved the idea of like the player being trapped on this island in this creepy prison center and having to escape, from being in the building, realizing that like, maybe they clocked in for work and all of a sudden they realize none of their coworkers are there and instead all their coworkers are walkers and now they have to escape their own job and get back to the boat and leave the island. So I thought that was a really cool concept that we could head towards. We are not going to be able to like do the whole thing in the short time we have here, but we'll build out a couple levels and you'll get the idea. I mean, the goal of this game, the game loop of it is really going to be you're eliminating walkers, you're getting gold, you're able to purchase more weapons as you unlock new areas in the prison, and eventually make your escape outside to the boat, and you win. And
Yeah.
if you get eliminated, you're done. Game over. Try again.
And our initial scope for this, since it's two of us as builders, is that this is a two-player experience. So you're here with your best work friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, there's no better way to kind of show that off than to, I guess, start with this cinematic that I threw together that players will start with once they load up the game. Now, I did this part off camera because we've already done a really fun cinematic live stream. And so if you want to know how to make cinematics, I really recommend you go check that one out. And there's obviously tons of docs and tutorials on the EDC as well. But if you like hanging out with us, you can retroactively watch that cinematics live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll grab a link for it for anyone who may be curious.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. So the goal with this was to like kind of tell the story of like the player's journey as they're like clocking into work. but to do so in like a kind of spooky, high level way. So I'll just click play.
Are we all seeing it?
Oh no. Let's
Hey, looks
how
good
about
this
now?
way. All right. Yeah, rewind and hit play again.
See, every time I click the track, it takes over the screen.
Yes. I think that's what happened. All right. We can see the
All
little
right,
hut
there we
now.
go. All right. And that's kind of where we leave off. And then after that, we'd spawn the player in. Actually, but before we do that, I thought what would be kind of a cooler way to introduce the player to like the story and what's happening than uh, shutting off all the lights right at the end of that cinematic. And then maybe we have like a zombie scream in the background. And then we throw them in
A
and
walker
set up some
style
zombies.
scream.
Walker scream. And and then we'll have Heather set up the walkers. So let's go ahead and very quickly set that up. Now I'm gonna switch over to sharing my whole screen, so that we don't keep messing up the view.
Awesome, awesome. While we're waiting as well, I wanted to make sure everyone knows that we do take questions live as well. So if you have questions at any point while we're walking through this, just toss them in chat and we'll
Yeah.
tackle.
All right. I think we're good now. Uh,
Yes.
just see here, there's the camera. I'm gonna get our viewport set up on this one so we can see what the camera's seeing there. Awesome. Okay, so let's do right about here. We'll grab these lights. See if we can tie them in. Spotlight. And intensity. And then oh, like 15 frames in. Lower that intensity to 0.
There is a quick question I've got here for y'all.
Mhm.
For today, are you planning on just using the assets that were released with the template, or are you also going to be using additional assets as well?
We are going to be using a lot of assets that were released with the template and with the Walker Walker Islands. Now, I don't know if they'll all be from it, but there are a ton. Like I was really happy to look through the content browser. There are a ton of great assets to choose from here, so we'll be using a lot of these.
And then we'll be using mostly just devices and cinematics for the gameplay and logic this time around. There's lots of stuff that you could do with Verse, but we thought this time around, let's just keep it simple. Let's just put in some devices and make the gameplay happen that we want to have happen. Um, So yeah, if there's stuff that you want to see or want to know about, please let us know. The other thing too is as we set up all of the different walkers and things like that, um, everything we're doing today, you could also do non-Walking Dead themed. So you could use other assets from other libraries, or you could just take a look at, I don't know, really just any other part of our system, use different NPC spawners, and make a different sort of shooting escape the island style game. So we wanted to use the new assets because we're excited about them and we think they're really cool. But everything that we're showing you today is stuff that you could use in any game you develop.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very awesome.
All right. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks all right for the split second.
You gotta duplicate that, right?
I have to get 3 more of those in here. It's spotlight. Spotlight. Density.
Oh, this is an interesting question. I wanted to toss y'all's way while you're
Okay.
getting that set up. I feel like it's very fitting for what you're presently doing as well.
All right.
Someone asked if you find it difficult at all to try and emulate a spookier atmosphere when it comes to building with these tools, or if you feel like it's pretty easy to get the spooky vibe.
Ooh. Um, I think there can be difficulty in that. I find especially like when you're dealing with Fortnite characters who tend to be like a little goofier looking or silly or bright or cartoony, like a fish stick or something. It can sometimes be hard to like have them fit in that spooky atmosphere. That's why we are going to be making this a first person island. So then you don't have to worry about that. And it feels
Clever.
a little more immersive, and you don't feel like you're a funny looking fish running around the Walker Island, and instead you're you. So that's kind of our solution to that. Um, but I mean, totally. I think another really important thing, which I mean, hopefully we have time to get into, is adding sound. It's massively important to immersing the player and making them feel that they're in this kind of scary situation. So I'd highly recommend. And again, that's another great thing about this Walker stuff is there's a ton of new sound effects in here. I was overjoyed going through all of these. Some really great like ambient sound effects that we can play with, and then there's also some really great Walker sound effects here.
Yeah, I think just to build off of what Josh is saying about sound, it doesn't matter what genre your game is, sound is so important to feeling engaged and feeling immersed. And it's something that I think Josh and I've gotten incredibly more passionate about after GDC and hearing from some developers who are incorporating sound into their games more. And so we really want to emphasize that no matter what genre of game you're making, if you want to feel immersed and you want your players to feel immersed, a great way to do that is sound design.
Yep. All right. I'm also going to add fade to back here.
Ooh, so even after the lights go out, it all goes out? Spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Set back. I might have to mess with some post processing outside of this to actually make it darker, but
It's pretty dark to me.
yeah, and once we get walls up too, then we won't get some of that fog light that's coming in.
Right.
All right. And then, speaking of sound, let's go ahead and add an audio track in here. And let's see.
You gonna choose one of those walker sounds?
Yes. There's one that I like. You guys won't be able to hear this, so you're just gonna have to trust me on it.
I believe you. I believe you.
But you'll all hear it once I launch Fortnite and run through it there. So do not despair. There, this one. Animals one-shot queue.
I do feel like despairing a little bit is okay with the theme for today. But
Only a little bit of despair.
just a mild sprinkling of despair for today is fine.
Wait, no, that wasn't it. Is it this one?
Oh no. It's so funny to watch you listening to sound, but like we can't hear it.
Oh, it's randomized. That's why. Okay,
Ah.
on my end, there was a human scream when I played it, and then when I brought it in here, it was a wolf howling. But it's because it's like a randomized sound cue.
Oh, I see.
Huh.
Okay. We won't do that one then. Let's get Walker Screech.
Your sound is almost loud enough that I could hear it that time.
It's the Walker Screeches are so funny. Can't wait for you guys to hear these. Yeah, this one's cool. Right,
I liked that you were able to play them both in both those situations there, though. You were playing it in the content browser, but then once you kind of knew what you wanted, you were also able to play it directly from Sequencer. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Now, if I wanted to spend even more time on this, I would like actually get this audio so that it's, being placed where the sound should be coming from, but that's good enough for now.
Something for us to do later.
Yeah. Okay. So then it would cut to black. They'd hear this scream, ideally to the right of them, so they kind of understand where these zombies or where the walkers are coming from. And then Heather, why don't you walk us through setting the walkers up?
Yeah. Okay, let's switch over to my screen then. We'll see a little bit different. Actually, Josh, can you go ahead and hit save and push?
Oh, good
I
idea.
know you added a few walls, so let's wait just a minute for me to pull that down.
All right, checked in.
All right,
Power of
syncing.
URC, everybody.
It's so amazing. It's so fast. Okay, let's make sure everything is not crashing. One moment. Okay. All right.
You might want to switch over to
Full screen. Okay,
whole
let me fix my stream so that everyone will see the full screen. Let's see. Screen 2. That's the one. All right. Let's try that. Are we good now? I think we look good. Yay! All right. So the first thing that I want to do before we add in our walkers is actually, let's make it first person, right? Because we said we were going to do that. Josh, I don't think we've done that quite yet.
No, we haven't.
All right, let's do that real fast. So I'm going to come over here and I like to just search in my content browser because I don't know where everything is like Josh does. But I do know how to spell some of the time. So I'm going to type in camera. Well, not even all of camera because this is perfect. And I'm just going to pull in our first person camera here into our viewport. And now we can see that's all I have to do. I'm going to have this enabled always. So whenever we play, this is always on. And it'll add it to the player when the player actually starts. So it will enact after the cinematic finishes. So now that's it. That's all I have to do to make this first person. Josh, anything to add there?
Let's let's increase the field of view there.
Ooh,
Because we're in
okay.
a tight spot.
We
It can feel a
are.
little claustrophobic if you're not. So I'd just max it out.
All right.
110.
Let's make it bigger. Now you can see more. Love
Yeah.
it. Anything else you want to change here before we dive in? But
I
that's
think
pretty
that's it.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty
ooh.
drop and play.
Yes. All right. Sweet. Okay, so now that the first person camera is set up, let's set up our walkers. So we're going to do this with our NPC spawner, and then we're also going to create an NPC instance. And Josh, I believe we wanted to create it over in this area. Now, this is like a big, huge space that has a lot of windows, but no hallways or anything yet. We're going to come in and add some level design in a minute. But first, I'm not the level designer here. Josh is, so I'm going to do the mechanics. So I'm going to find the NPC spawner, which, again, I just like to search. I know you could find it by going to devices and then pulling it up, but searching works for me. So we're going to pull it in. And if we come over here to the right side, I can set how many I want to spawn, whether or not they're going to be able to spawn through the walls. If I want them enabled at game start, and then I also need to select a character definition, but I don't have a character definition right now, and there are two different ways that I can set one up. I could come here and just create it right here, which is totally fine, but I like doing it over here. So I'm going to come over to our folder. I'm going to get rid of this, come into our web content folder, and I'm going to hit right click, and then I'm going to come over here to artificial intelligence and then click NPC character definition. Now I like setting it up here because this is where it's going to live, and we're going to have multiple different kinds of walkers that we'll set up through the course of today. So I want to be able to rename it and have it all in order over here. So I'm going to change this to intro walker. These will be the easiest one to fight against. And then I need to change a bunch of different attributes about it. So I'm going to pull up the actual attributes panel and change a bunch of things. So the first thing is the character type. I want this to be a walker. Now we have two choices. We could have this just be a standard walker, or we could have them be in a prison uniform. I think because this is a prison, we're going to do the prison uniform for our first one, but we might have some standard walkers in here later. And the really cool thing about setting up different styles of walkers is that we can actually change their behaviors and make some of them stronger or weaker than others. So that can be a nice indicator to the player as well, that whenever they see a prisoner uniform walker, it's going to be easier to fight. Lots of games do this, so this is just something that we can kind of do here. Now, we can either just use their default behavior, or we could write a verse class to change their behavior. We did not write verse this time. We're going to stick with our default behaviors because they're pretty good. They will try to attack you through walls. They'll walk and try to find you. They're going to do most of the things we need them to do. However, we are going to look here at these modifiers. So we've got a couple of different attributes here, and I'm walking through as many of these as possible because even though you can go deep dive on the developer documentation pages over on the dev community, I think it's useful just to take a look here and see what we're messing around with. So the first thing that we can do is we can actually change their vulnerability, their starting health, their max health, as well as their starting shields and max shields. Now these are the easiest ones to fight, so I'm actually going to go ahead and lower down their health to just be 50-50. Like, we want these to be eliminated rather quickly. There are intro walkers. And they don't come with shields out of the box anyway, so we'll just leave those as 0. I can also change some various aspects of their gameplay. Now, this is pretty cool because walkers have two main ways that they attack. They can either bite you or they can swipe at you. And so we can change how much each of those different kinds of attacks do damage to you. Right now, out of the box, if they swipe at you or just attack, that does 12 hit points of damage. And if they bite you, that does 2 points of damage. The biting also does damage over time. So this is really cool, but for our intro walker, I'm just going to make it so that if they bite you, we don't have damage over time. Because again, like I said, these are our intro walkers. We want these ones to be easy. And we'll leave their attack damage at 12, but we can definitely increase this for our future walkers. Now, there's lots of other things that we can do here, like remove bite damage over time if you're down but not out. This can be useful if you're playing a co-op style game like this one, where you want your friend to be able to revive you and you don't want to just be taken out. So for our intro walker, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Or I'm going to leave that on. Sorry. We want to remove that damage. But for our later walkers, we could turn that off if we wanted. There's also some options here to skip the spawning animation. I'm going to leave this off for now so that when Josh shows us later what it looks like when they spawn in, we can all kind of see that and see the different aspects. But we're going to come back in later, and I'll probably do this while Josh is sharing his screen, and I'll turn that off because it is kind of weird to see these walkers spawn into the world when, as Josh said, our story and our intent here is that all of the people here are already walkers and we have to escape. So
Yeah.
we'll leave that here for now just so that you all can see what that looks like, but then we'll come in and we'll change that.
Yeah, they naturally have like a rise from the ground sort of animation, which is like really incredibly done, but doesn't really work for like the setting in this case.
Great. So with all that, we're gonna hit save. Save all those things. But we're not quite done yet. I now need to come over to our walker and to our NPC spawner and actually adjust it to be that walker. Luckily, we only have one now. It's very easy. I just click intro walker and we should be good to go. Now, there's a couple other things that we can change here. I think for our intro walker, let's spawn like 4 so that we can see a couple different ones running around this area. And we can change all of this as we start to build out this section. I'm also going to turn off spawn on timer. Actually, I'm going to leave it on, but I'm just going to have it immediately turn on at 0 seconds. That way, those spawn immediately. And I'm also not going to have infinite spawn on. This is on out of the box. We want to set up our different walkers in different spaces. We don't want them constantly coming back. The idea is that you can escape this island. So we're not going to have them go on infinitely. So I'm going to leave the spawn limit at 1. I think that's about it. Josh, is there anything else that we talked about that I have skipped here?
I think that's it. But yeah, that was a great call out on the infinite spawn. There will probably be areas in here where we want like, it's a spawn 3 times or something, but this initial zone, we're really wanting to. This is going to tutorialize it. So you eliminate these walkers, and you get gold, and then that gold should be enough for you to unlock the next area. And then you don't really have to, stress about being stuck in this first area for, way too long, because players like to feel that they're making progression pretty early on. So we're going to give them that.
Speaking of gold, should we go set up the elimination manager and gold granting?
Yes, please.
All right, let's go do that. So this is the way I like to set up devices. If they're all related to our core gameplay, I'm going to put them in this main room and just make sure they're hidden during gameplay. So I'm just going to bring in our 2 devices that we need for this, which is the elimination manager. I'll just drag and drop that in for a second here. And then I'm also going to need the item spawner, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. Item granter.
Item granter. See?
Yeah, we'll put it right in their inventory. we could make it,
Yes.
you could make it so the zombie drops the gold and the player has to go pick it up. But for this, let's do it just goes right
Let's
to the
just get
inventory.
it goes right to the
Happy.
inventory. So let's start with the item granter. I don't actually want to clear inventory when we grant something. I want to keep everyone's inventory as it is. But we do want to grant them an item. So I'm going to come down here, add a new item, and then what we're going to grant is gold. And I'm going to just go ahead and grant them 5. Again, especially for this intro area, like we could set these up for different levels and different walkers as time goes on, but for this intro area, I want to make sure that even if you are part of your duo and you only eliminate one, you have enough gold to unlock the door. So we'll make the first one just 5 gold. So we'll give you 5 gold for just eliminating one walker. In order to actually grant this gold to you, though, we need to grant item on an elimination, which I believe I can set up right here. Elimination manager, and then on elimination. But for that to work, we got to set up what elimination we're looking for. So we got to come over to our elimination manager. And let's see here. Target type, we are going to make this just custom NPCs. So anytime a custom NPC is eliminated, then we'll grant the item. Am I missing anything here, Josh? I think that's all I have to set up here.
I think it's good.
All right. Thank you for validating. We'll test it in production here in a moment. I'm going to check in these changes. And adding in walkers and gold. Sweet. I'll submit that for you. And then, Josh, if we want to go back to your screen, we can see what all of this looks like.
Let's do it.
Awesome. I know we went over that really fast, so Tina, if there were any questions in the chat, let us know. But there is great documentation, so we'll also make sure that documentation link is in the chat too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so got that. Our zombies are gonna spawn. Oh, actually, I did just think of something. We need these. We need these to spawn at a certain point. When the cinematic finishes.
Oh yeah, we don't want them to spawn and attack us before we're even moving.
Yeah, but that's easy enough. I'm just flying out here to our cinematic sequencer device, on stopped, and then these will spawn once the cinematic stops.
Perfect.
So then we'll just turn off spawn on timer. That should be okay. Okay. And then okay, before I launch Fortnite, I want to make sure that the player is able to get a weapon.
Oh yes.
I had a maybe cool idea about how we do that. That kind of keeps it immersive. Because I was kind of thinking like the player's heading to work in like the kitchen or something, and so they probably don't have a gun on them. So I thought I was looking through here, and there are some cool assets. It's like a guard helmet.
Oh, and we could like pick it up out of the helmet?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like we have like a little section of like lost gear here from whoever was victim before our player. So we can do like a flashlight. So then all the lights are off except this flashlight that's kind of shining on the weapon so the player doesn't miss it. Here's that helmet I was talking about.
Make it a little bigger.
Size that up for dramatic effect. Flip it on the side. All about the details. All right, something like that. And then maybe like some clothes. And there's like a shoulder plate here from that guy's armor as well. Some world building. All right. And then actually get the weapon in a player's hand. I'm going to go to Fortnite and devices. Get the item placer.
I really love our different aspects here. If I just search for it and you're like, nah, I'm gonna go to the right folder.
Yeah, until it actually comes to finding things in the devices folder, and then I just look for it instead of figuring out which one of these would be in. Item placer. Oh, I already brought it in. Okay.
It's also giant if you wanted to resize it and then switch to make it
Well,
smaller.
the good news is once we go to the details panel of the item placer, I'm gonna move that down. We'll go to our item list and we'll pick out the weapon we want. I was thinking just a modular pistol. The modular weapons and the ballistic weapons work best with first person right now, but we plan on adding more like support for animations for all the other ones. You can use like most of the weapons in first person, but some of them are missing reload animations, so the gun kind of just dips off the screen and then comes back up. Whereas like our modular ones and our ballistic ones tend to have actual reload animations and look really nice. So let's do let's do this modular pistol. Turn this down. Pick up, allow interact. We'll do an interact time, just half a second, just so the player's kind of more aware of what they're doing. They don't just accidentally like run and click and don't clock what's going on. We don't want it to be damaged. Model, yep. And you can even set like a gold cost of the item, which is what we're going to do later when we put like some of these weapons like on walls and stuff for the player to pick up.
Right.
But for now, this one's going to be free.
That sounds great.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just lowering my speed. Okay.
While you're doing all of this, I am going through and adding in some more NPC character definitions for us so that when we are ready to add in some more challenging walkers, we won't have to go through that again.
Nice.
Like
Looks
folks
pretty
are
good.
really excited to see the end result here. Someone's curious if you're using a custom post-processing for this.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, let me grab it. It's actually pretty subtle. It's some color grading. I've got a little chromatic aberration. If you look, actually, strangely enough, I'm not seeing my chromatic aberration. Where'd that go? Oh, there. I think something was bugged there.
Are you in game mode or?
Well, once I edited the post-processing volume, then it actually like properly kicked in. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look. So now we have our chromatic aberration. I don't know what that was about. We have some better bloom now. We have some film grain. We have and some vignette. But it looked like the color correction was okay, and then everything else just didn't load in. But yeah, post-processing, in fact. Now it is kind of still hard to see this weapon. Odds are the player will miss it, so I'm thinking we have show rarity effects on, and so once we're actually in Fortnite, it should have like the glow to it. and
Hmm.
that should point the player to it more. So one last thing before I load up is if any of you guys have played Fortnite before or played different games with NPCs, you'll know that when you shoot an NPC with your weapon, if you get a headshot or even like a body shot, there's going to be like this sound effect, and it's kind of um, like it's not a very realistic one. It feels like a video game sound effect, and I've tried it with the walkers, and it kind of takes me out of it. And so what I'm going to do is get rid of it. So I'm going to use, and this is the first time I've actually used this device, was figuring out how to do this. So you can use the audio mixer device. And what this allows you to do is grab different buses. So we have like Fortnite explosions or Fortnite footsteps that like maybe you want louder or quieter, or you want to mix it with something. So I'm just going to grab our Fort impacts. No, Fort hit notify. And that's kind of what controls the headshot noise and the attack hit noise. So I'm gonna lower these a ton to like here. It's like maybe just subtle enough that you kind of hear that there's an impact, but it doesn't take you out of it. Now, it feels really weird still then when you're eliminating something and there's just no feedback.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do there is get our audio player device, and we're going to use another audio that comes from the Walking Dead universe expansion that we've done here. It's I believe maybe it's in this. There it is. So in the walkers folder, and again, you won't be able to hear this yet, but it's just the sound of like a body falling onto the ground. And so we're going to use this, and we're going to trigger this whenever you get an elimination. So we're going to reuse some of Heather's work, make it so that this audio player plays on elimination.
Sweet.
And I'm going to have it be heard by everyone. But it's going to play on the instigating player. Now, again, if we wanted to get like even more technical and spend this whole stream talking about like how to super polish your walker's game, it'd be really cool to like actually use verse to move this device onto the walker that you're eliminating. So then that sound effect and a screech might come from, the walker that you just eliminated. But for now, you kind of get like a good enough effect to where you get the idea here.
Yeah. And maybe that's something that we can talk about in a future stream, is just how to use verse to do some of these things, because I know we've brought this up in a couple of build alongs now of like, oh, but if we wanted to add polish, we could add some reverse. So we're definitely keeping that in mind. And if you'd like to see a build along more focused on that, please let us know. Put it in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. I'm launching my session now.
Oh,
So
yay.
we're going to get to test out what we've done so far. We'll test it out quickly, and then we will start building the next level. Get the unlock system set up, build out the kitchen level, and a hallway for the other walkers, and from there.
That sounds great.
I'm going to lower the scalability here, just so I'm not sucking up all the performance. But my toxic trait is that I love to use UEFN on max settings, because I need to know what the player is gonna see when they're playing.
I don't know if that's a toxic trait or just a good game development practice to not only test on high settings, but also test on low settings.
Yeah. My computer thinks it's a toxic trait.
Yeah, hardware says differently, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I could even put it on unlit here.
Whoa, that doesn't look anything like what you design.
No.
And lighting
See
is
how
crazy.
Fortnite's doing.
All right, it's connecting.
Awesome.
Any
Well, that's
questions in the
getting
meantime?
yeah, I was about to same mind here.
Yeah.
Sharing a brain cell.
Oh, did we
One
want to
question
switch
I
to
got
audio
here.
before we go to questions? Josh, did you
Oh,
want
that's
to
a
make
great
sure we're
idea.
streaming with audio?
Yeah, let's switch over.
Great. Okay, now you can ask us the question.
Good call. No, it's too late. No.
No more questions.
Um, so this first one here is kind of a two-parter. I'll start with the first one for you. But someone mentioned that in their gameplay with walkers, they noticed that they get stuck on props sometimes and start to even damage them occasionally, even when they have their damage turned off. And they're wondering if you have any advice for how they can prevent something like that from happening.
Mm.
The damaging things when you have damage turned off sounds like a bug. So please put that in the developer forums and feel free to, if you find Josh or I, like directly DM us so that we can go investigate that for you. But them damaging props and things outside of that situation when damage is turned on is intentional. We want the walker to be able to destroy things to get to you. But
Yeah.
the other part, that seems like a bug, so please put that in the forums for us.
All right. I have Fortnite ready to go. Here we are.
Wait, do we want to do one more question, Tina? Because you said that was a two-parter.
Yeah, there was a follow-up just about props and stuff too, where they noticed that sometimes it seems like the enemies might lose tracking if they get stuck on a prop, and they're wondering if you have advice on how to prevent something like that from happening as well.
Ooh, there's a lot that you can do with verse AI, especially like around navigation. Now, it's not as simple as what we're doing here, which is kind of just using the out of the box stuff. But if you do need to customize a little bit more and have them like avoid certain things or do different pathing, I would highly recommend, if you can, looking into some of our verse AI documentation.
And there is some that we wrote for the walkers specifically, if you go look at the walkers template. So go check that template out and see if that gives you what you're kind of looking for. And then, not to say this a million times, but you could also post to the developer forums in the like help request section and ask for help and advice there. That is also monitored by not only the community, all of you wonderful people, but also by us here at Epic. And so whenever we can come in and help with an answer or supply some ideas, we will. So that's something that if you put it there and you're not feeling like you're not sure how it's going or you're struggling with the verse, please just put it on the forums and we can take a look.
All right. I'm itching to try this out.
Okay, let's do it.
It's time.
Start game.
I saw that you already started building our
Yeah,
tunnel while we were
I thought I'd
talking.
box them in a little.
I love this camera pan because it makes it feel like it's infinite.
Vertigo effect. Move the camera forward. Pull the focal length back. All right, we're gonna have to move where the player is. We'll teleport them in. You could use verse to hide the player there too.
Just so
All
that
right.
it feels fully immersive. Oh,
Well,
look,
yeah,
they're already coming at you.
because we saw ourselves in the cinematic,
Yeah.
which wasn't great. But all right, you pick up the weapon. Oh, wait, I forgot to enable my audio mixer. But you might have
Oh,
heard the like springy headshot effect there.
I did, yeah.
That's what we need to get rid of. It's super easy. I can even do it right here because you can just activate on game start.
Perfect. Did we want to hide the players or move them back or something?
Kind of. Now, for now, it's okay because we need them to like spawn right here anyways for the effect. But ideally, we hide them and then, or we could teleport them in there when. Yeah, I guess we could teleport them in. Anyways, maybe you can work on that on the side. Just teleport, like, have the spawn pad somewhere else and then teleport the player there
There.
when the cinematic ends.
Okay.
Um, and the player might see that still,
Yeah, I don't feel
but
like that's like the best.
well, the ideally is you teleport them there, like when the screen goes black in the cinematic, but then you kind of have to get into like putting the device in the
In the
cinematic,
cinematic.
and that's a whole thing. And I really want to get to building level 2, so
Let's focus on building level
yeah.
2, and then we can come back and do that later if we're still feeling.
This it's quite funny. This makes you like feel like you're like a monster sneaking up behind yourself.
yeah, it really does feel kind of ominous.
Yeah. So there's
I
our
mean,
zombie.
maybe we spawn a walker right behind her, and it's actually the walker that's walking up to you.
That could be cool. Ooh, we need
Then it's
infinite
just part of
ammo.
gameplay.
But at
It's
work,
not a bug, it's a feature.
Exactly.
okay, and we might actually need to spawn them on a timer. Or did we have it set to only eliminate one? I thought we had 4, right? That's
I
supposed to
thought it said
spawn in that
4.
group.
Yeah,
I
spawn
think so.
count
I think
4.
I'm
Okay.
Total spawn limit 1. Oh, it's because it's got a total spawn limit of
Oh,
1.
okay. We'll turn that to
That's
4 then.
I can't edit it because you have it checked out right now.
All right. Um, but so we'll
We'll do
eliminate
that in a
4
minute.
and we'll get gold on the HUD so that you can see how much gold you have. And actually, I'm gonna switch us over to the Walking Dead HUD, which is really easy to do.
It's so pretty too.
Yeah. And then you'd get your gold, come over here, and we'll have like a little like unlock thing for you to get to this next room. And you might be asking, why wouldn't the player just jump over the counter? It's a great question. I thought about that myself and I couldn't come up with an answer. So it's just suspend disbelief.
We could make the whole like we could put in a barrier here and just make it so that you can't jump over the counter.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe they have a COVID screen on the
Yeah, maybe it's like a
the
nice glass screen
yeah.
there.
Okay. I'm going to switch back over to UEFN now.
As you're
awesome, awesome.
switching, can you please make sure you push so that I can edit the NPC spawner? And I think I'm gonna make a zombie spawn behind you. Like, I think that's like the intelligent thing to do right now. Or a
Um,
We don't
walker,
make the
sorry.
rules, okay? This is just, it has to happen this way.
all right. I'm ready to go.
While you are working on the spawner, Heather, maybe there's a question that you can tackle too. Someone was curious if there's a limit to how many walkers can spawn, or if you have a recommendation of how many walkers can spawn before it starts to create performance issues.
There is a limit. Let me make sure I tell you exactly what that limit is by going to our wonderful documentation page that I continue
I'm
to shout out. It's truly wonderful.
I'm pretty sure it's 90. It
I
might be like
think it's
99.
I think it's 90, but I'm gonna just triple check here. Um, really what I've seen though is as long as they're spaced out and you're within the limit, you should be fine. But definitely test out your performance. Figure out if you like how it's working. If you're trying to spawn in a bunch all at once, like say 30 or more all at once, like that's going to cause issues. That's a lot to have on the screen spawning at the same time. So just make sure that you're taking a moment to actually test and do what Josh just did, where we launch the session, see how it works, see how it's interacting, and then you'll also catch the things that, we noticed earlier around, oh, we are only spawning one instead of four. Um, okay, I'm still figuring out exactly the limit. I know it's in here.
All right. Um, Let me know when you get that. Right now, I'm going to disable a lot of our HUD here. And disable
For
build menu.
optimal island performance when using Walker NPCs, the recommended limit is 50.
There we
Um,
go.
and I will make sure. I think that is already in the links for you, Tina, but I will make sure you get that one directly.
So,
Okay. And then here's the fun part. With all this Walking Dead stuff, we go into this folder here. We have some UI widgets for you guys to use. So go in here, go into widgets, and we have our player info stack, which we are just going to wait. First, let me make it. No. Do this, and then I'll click the arrow. There we go. And so we'll put our player stack in there, and then we're going to do our equipped info block. Select that, use selected, and now this is going to adjust the HUD so that your health and your shield and your weapon and your little player icon are all like The Walking Dead themed in the bottom left corner. And because it's in the bottom left corner, we have to modify our text chat so that it's not there. I think middle right and bottom right, I think. There's actual, they go over this in the documentation. I don't really remember where I was supposed to anchor it to, but I'm not going to use text chat anyways. But there's documentation that goes over how to set this up. It's really simple. Okay, so then we should have our gold showing. We should have our HUD working now. They were able to get. I'm gonna have to go down to medium. Mm-hmm. A sec. All right. We'll go back up to high now. Whoa. Okay, so I also adjusted our walker so that 4 of them spawn.
Perfect. Will you go ahead and hit save and check in?
Yeah, let me check those in.
Thank you.
Look at that great changeless description.
It's great.
What's this blue light? Oh, device. Okay. Well, we'll get about 20 gold. I think we're ready to move on to the next level.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, I already kind of started piecing this together, but I was thinking for level 2 is the kitchen where this person works at, and maybe they have a better weapon in there, or even better, maybe there's like a breaker where they can like turn the lights back on or something in here. So their next goal would be get to the kitchen. They have enough gold. So what I'm gonna do is there's this lock device that we could use. And I think this should work. We don't have to show it. Initial door position closed. Well, okay, we'll leave that for now. And then we'll do a conditional button. And we will look for, we'll do key items required 5. Consume key items, yes. Actually, let's do this. We'll do 10. And if one player only has 5, what they can do is put the 5 in, and we won't require all the key items at once. So you can work with your teammate to progressively unlock an area. And then we'll get our item definition, which is gold. And we'll do unlock text or interact text that says unlock kitchen.
Sweet.
I think we'll be good there. So then, and you could edit this so that it fits with the area more. But for now, I'll just leave it like that. And we will unlock the door when the conditional button is activated.
Great.
And we can test that out in a sec, but I thought we could have some fun and design our little kitchen level. Turn my grid on.
While you're designing, are you open to taking creative
Yeah,
suggestions from chat?
please. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas about this level or maybe the next one, if we have time, it'd be great. All I know is I wanted a kitchen. So.
You gotta know what you want.
Well,
Yeah,
and
simple to
I
mix.
was kind of inspired because there are, I'm just going to keep shouting out like our artists here, but there are some like really great kitchen assets in here. I pulled a couple of them out, but there's even like, there's so many. Look, there's like all this food. See, look at that. Nice like food garbage stuff, and that we can stack up. So, shelving, lots of great assets to be building this kitchen with.
Josh, so that we don't have to suspend belief anymore, I went ahead and I added in some glass windows for us.
Oh, nice.
Makes the cafeteria harder to restock, but now we know why we can't get through.
Exactly. Go ahead and sync those.
I also added in the walker changes that we talked about. And you'll see some new
Nice.
walkers. I even spawned in some more advanced ones the further you go down this hallway, so feel free to bring them in as you wish.
Now I'm scared. Now I feel like we're gonna get legitimately jump scared going through this.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Very nice.
Here, wait.
The pan's a little bit like in the way. It's causing some issues. Ah, look at your beautiful views.
I always have.
Are we getting
There's like,
nitpicky over these glass?
Well, I'm just gonna raise them up a little.
Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That seems good. Here, I can
yeah,
make them smaller if you push them back.
yeah. Just shout out to the glass not selecting from the viewport. You just go right through it.
Yep, yep.
There, that looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks great.
Except for on this side.
Yeah, 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 I'll fix it on that side if you just push those.
Okay.
You focus on fixing the level and making your kitchen the best kitchen. And now it's easier to restock, so you fixed it.
Exactly.
We added our COVID protocol screen.
Protect from the walkers. This over there. Like we need like a island in the center.
Oh, yep, I'm having the same
Some
issue.
shelving. Yeah, you have to
Everything but what I'm supposed to click.
select from the outliner.
Looks like a suggestion is to press T. That helps.
Ah, that did help. Thank you, whoever suggested that.
Wait, why?
What is that?
Shout out
Yeah,
Spanky in
what does
chat.
T do?
Spanky, tell us more, please.
Like what's the actual
Spanky,
purpose
please
of that
elaborate.
hotkey? Is it transparent or something? Toggles transparency selection.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. Thank you. And want to find like a table. Yes.
All right, Josh, I need you to be honest with me. Did
Okay.
you or did you not set up a Pinterest board with inspiration for this kitchen beforehand?
I absolutely. This is actually inspired by my real kitchen. So it's pretty much 1-to-1.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. This is what my terrifying New York kitchen looks like. What else can we get in here? Some garbage bags. Yeah, there's so many great like set dressing pieces here. Um, so much fun. I could scroll through this forever, but I understand it's not that entertaining on the viewer side, so I'll wrap this up.
Oh, I don't know. I could watch builds happen all day, especially speed builds. Here's what we do. We go back. All right. Once this is done, we clip this. We put it at 4 times speed.
Yes. Now that I can get behind. It is so satisfying. Like files there.
There really are so many assets included in this. I'm
Yeah.
genuinely impressed as you're scrolling through.
It's pretty cool.
Now I'll grab another door. Okay. The important thing here is we now want another area. Make this a little bigger. We want another area for our walkers to get through. So I'm thinking.
Oh, man. Just some real life relatability for y'all. Everything just crashed for me. So
That doesn't happen. Why would you even say such a thing?
so I'll fix this Windows when it comes
Crashing
back
is
up.
crashing is not real.
It's a myth. It's a
Yeah.
myth. It never happens.
Gosh, do I wish it was a myth.
I think really this is just a sign from the windows that we have to just leave them alone. They've decided where they want to be placed,
They're
and that's
happy with
that.
their life. Ah,
Exactly.
no, 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 no. I want to fix them. This is important to me.
I kind of.
What are you looking for?
I'm debating whether to prop these doors open or find a piece that just doesn't have doors. But maybe
Can
I'll
you
just.
just remove the door?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
This is a question just from me because I'm now curious. Could the
Yeah.
doors be set to destructible, like the props you were talking about earlier?
Um, I don't believe so. I would be
No.
happy if someone corrected me, but I don't think so. I think so. If you were to make your own custom asset with doors, you could totally set that one up. But I think because Fortnite assets are locked, there's not much you can customize there.
That's fair.
I thought I did see an option to have it open, though. I could have sworn as I was looking through these.
Well, yeah. So with the lock device here, you could like set it open, unless you're saying there's an option here, which there actually might be.
Yeah, I thought there was. Hmm.
Oh, aha!
Yes. Okay,
Now,
good. I was like, I swear I did
nice,
this. Because I was trying that out instead of using a barrier to like close things off, and I was excited
nice.
that I
See,
could
I didn't
just
even know that was a thing, and
remove a
there's no
door.
collision there, so that works.
Yeah,
Oh my god, let's go.
learning.
Cool.
I
Now,
think that's my favorite thing about like our different skill sets, Josh, is that I'll try things in the most random ways and it'll unlock something for you.
yeah. Now I do still want the doors, so let me go find a different door prop and
Have
kind of
some
like
open
set them up
doors.
on the ground or something, like they were
Yeah,
pushed over.
that seems good.
I love that. That's very. I don't think there's anything more ominous, frankly, than just seeing an entire door like
Yeah,
smashed off of
that's
its
pretty
hinges.
terrifying.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have a second round of zombies. Our walkers come in through here. And how many are spawning in this one? 5. And timer, 80 seconds. Let's throw that down to half, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't really know how long it was going to take us for
Yeah. Because if
our
you
little
headshot them,
fights.
they get eliminated really quickly.
Right.
Maybe let's do 30. And then how many should we have spawn? Maybe. Well, at this point, it actually might be okay for them to infinitely spawn until you get to like a certain area that's far enough away. And then the ones behind you just kind of start ignoring you. But it's okay if you do have zombies or have walkers chasing you around as you're like going about. So we'll try that for now. And let's do a separate door for the next unlock.
I'm also going to make sure I skip the spawning animation for all these. different walkers now.
All right.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh, we do. Yeah, actually, let's go out that door. That's fine. And so,
There you go.
okay, wait. Here's what we'll do. Behind this door, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have closet, janitor's closet, and this is gonna have
Do you want to put the big guy behind that?
um no, no, this will be like the next just like a little unlock area because in here
Oh, you're gonna make this our bench.
um no, but I do want to do that too.
Oh,
This one, so
I
this
keep
one
guessing and getting
I
it
know.
wrong.
This one I'm gonna have like a breaker switch so that the player can turn the lights
Oh,
back
the
on.
lights. Yes, you mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
I suppose we can have light.
Because as much as I love being in the darkness, uh, things just look better with lights, thanks to Lumen. So it's a very easy way to make your level look nice is just by having some decent lighting. And I'm gonna do switch.
Very nice.
Maybe. Okay, there's that one. Ooh, that's a good one.
That is good.
That one's good. Turn on lights. I'm not even gonna give them the option to turn them off because that's just that's too much power.
Sure.
Times can use one. Yeah. Okay. And then I might have to use another sequence to turn these back on. I'll be quick, I swear.
Okay. I'm adding in some better decor to make the upstairs be more believable.
Nice.
Since we're just decorating right now, it felt reasonable.
While you are getting that set up,
Yeah.
there was a question in chat earlier that I'd actually love y'all's opinions on. Not to make things more difficult for you, but that's exactly why I'm here.
Jeez.
That's your job.
Um, yes, this is exactly why. There was a question about what you would do to make a sort of boss walker, so to speak, with the options that are just inherently enabled on him.
Mm.
Yeah, so for the challenge walker that I've kind of preliminarily set up, let me click on him and tell you a little bit about what I've changed here. I've increased their starting health to be a lot higher. I've also given them some shields. I've made their attack a lot stronger. I've also made the damage over time 8. If you get bitten, like that's gonna drop you down pretty quickly. I also chose to not have the remove bite damage over time when you're actually down but not out, so that again, as Josh said, if you get totally eliminated, you're out. So kind of like making that happen a little faster. I can also adjust the wait time between wandering down so that they are more focused on attacking much more often. Right now, I've left them at the defaults of 3 seconds minimum and 15 seconds maximum, but I could trim that down to, like, I don't know, 2 seconds minimum, 4 seconds maximum, and not have them wander very long, but have them really be targeting the player. Um, so that's what you can kind of do with the existing modifiers, but you can do a lot more if you write verse. You can make them really, really custom and totally change their behavior tree by writing some verse and tapping into some of these attributes that way. So it doesn't make them like a bigger walker, but it does make them a stronger walker.
Yeah,
If I wanted
more
to make
difficult
them,
enemy.
yeah, more difficult. If I wanted to kind of make something really, really custom and do like a really big boss fight, I would use the NPC spawner there, but I would totally change it. I wouldn't use the walker default. I would make my own, write all the NPC logic, like we see some creators doing today. But
Totally.
we give you so many options in the character modifiers for walkers that I think you can really create some diverse like levels of gameplay throughout your game.
That's awesome. There is also, I apologize because I sort of accidentally preempted this question myself, with my own musings earlier. But there, if you don't mind, like if you have a way of kind of walking through the process, a few folks are curious how you would go about making destructible doors for something like this, or even something like destructible walls, or if you have places we could point them to, stuff that they could learn up on, that sort of thing.
Um, yeah, so really if you were if you were to make destructible doors like inspired by this, again, I don't think you can really edit the door property because the Fortnite assets are like locked to a certain extent. But if you kind of made something similar and brought it in, you'd have to turn it to a blueprint prop, which is really easy to do. I don't have anything custom in here, so I can't really show it off. Um,
We
but
could just put the link for how to do that into
nice.
our chat. So Tina, if you can put that in the various chats on the streams that we're on, that walks you through how to actually make something a prop.
Yeah. But basically, you create a blueprint for it, and you pick building prop, and then you can set the prop's health and everything. And then in that prop, you link your static mesh, which would be, in this case, the doors. And then you'd have those doors able to be destructible after a certain amount of health. And then with the natural behavior of the walkers, when they like run into it, they'll break the door.
And you can also, when you're setting all that up, give the door or the wall or whatever you're setting up to be destroyed. If you are doing a game where there would be building involved, you can have that drop the right resource. So wood, brick, metal, you can select that when you're setting up the build to prop situation. We aren't using that today because we're not, buildings is not turned on for our game, but something to think about.
There we go. I've got them posted in chat there for all of you who may be curious to read up a little bit more on that. I'm gonna have to dive into that myself because that sounds like fun.
It
Yeah.
is fun.
It'd be a very cool mechanic. Have the walkers suddenly break through your door.
Very cool and mildly horrifying. What was it
Definitely.
earlier? Mild despair? A little mild despair in there?
Yeah.
Mild despair, mild horror, staying within our game rating.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get some lights.
So just to recap so far while Josh is turning on the lights, We have so far, Josh and I initially took the template island that was the artistic starter island, kind of built out our game logic ahead of time to figure out what we wanted to build live, but then we removed all of that so we could show you it live. But here live, we have shown you how we finished our cinematic and added in custom noises from our various noise options in the content drawer. We also showed you how, Josh showed you how to turn off the lights. Then we built our walkers, and we've set up multiple now so that there's different tiers of enemies that you fight over time. We set up an elimination manager to make sure that you get gold whenever you eliminate a zombie. And now Josh is setting up level 2 where we can turn back on the lights and have things be a little less spooky and despair. So that's quite a lot here in an hour and a half. I think we've got about 15 more minutes. So Josh, what do you think we can get done in these next 15 minutes? We're going to turn on the lights, and then what else do you want to get done here today?
Yeah, we'll get the lights set up, and then we'll get one more unlock on this door, and potentially this door, and then or maybe an unlock on this door, and then we can put a weapon on the wall here as like your kind of first weapon upgrade.
Okay.
And then basically it's like kind of for this game, it was kind of just repeatable from there, and the player gets more powerful, but so do the walkers, and there are cooler weapons down the line. Maybe you could do power ups, that sort of thing.
For sure.
So I'm also gonna.
What kind of weapon are you envisioning being the upgrade in this room?
I think we have to. I think we have to use the new Walking Dead weapon. There's two of them. One of
There are
them's a
two.
bat, and one of them is a shotgun. Maybe we'll use the bat because it might make more sense that they have a bat in the kitchen rather than a whole shotgun.
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
a
if there was
tenderizer,
like,
maybe?
yeah, maybe if there was like a level 3 that we built out where you were actually just in the prison area, it would make more sense to put the shotgun there.
Exactly. Let me make sure these lights are off by default.
The shotgun is so cool though.
It is pretty cool.
I mean, the bat's neat too. I think the really interesting thing though, Josh, if we choose the bat, is do we know how well that works currently in first person?
No idea.
Cool, so we'll test that out.
It,
And that might inform our decision if it doesn't feel good.
my guess is it pulls us back to third person.
It probably will. That's something that as first person is still experimental, and we're still evolving all of the tool sets that you just have to be aware of when you're throwing stuff in is testing it out and making sure it feels good to the player.
If it is set for third person by default, would there be a way to change it to work with first person? Or
We gotta
would it
fix
be
it.
more just something you'd want to think about before building out the...
I would say test out your weapons in the camera mode that you're trying to use. Test out your vehicles, test out your grind rails, all the things that are movement or actions that you already know look good in third person. If you're trying to do something in any of the other perspectives, that you throw those things down in like an early stage and test them out, see how you like them, and if that feels good. And then if it doesn't feel good and you want it, then post it in the forums. Let us know that you want it. And choose something else for the time being while we continue to work on making sure everything looks and feels right in all those different perspectives. Yeah. And then eventually, when we get to custom weapons, which is on the roadmap, at least the custom long range weapons, then you'll be able to create your own and create more there. So as that comes out, we'll let you know more about what's actually going to be possible with that tool set. Josh is still customizing lights. I love it. Oh, you're putting a
Well,
light over the weapon
yeah,
tray. Yes.
Spotlight. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Gotta put some attention on our bat.
exactly.
Some guiding lights,
Mm-hmm.
so to say.
I
Yeah.
think on one of our very first streams, Tina, we talked a lot about yellow paint, and this
Yes.
is our yellow paint lights.
This is the best yellow
Follow
paint.
the lights. Especially, I feel like that works out really well for games with this kind of atmosphere,
Yeah,
since most of the time they're pretty dark and atmospheric anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that's light, just by nature, will draw attention.
yeah, definitely it draws your eye.
Let's see.
It's called Lucille.
Ah, there it is, Lucille. Okay. This is gonna be way too strong if it's a level 6, but uh, we'll do it for fun anyways, just so everybody can see.
That's all right. Maybe I want to feel a little OP, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah, I was accidentally stranded on this island, so you know.
I deserve a high level bat.
Sorry guys, I'm
That could
nitpicky.
absolutely have been a meat tenderizer in the kitchen, especially with
Yeah,
the
exactly.
works.
I love it.
Okay.
Is that everything?
Well, I'm gonna do gold cost uh 20
Sure.
for now. And then yeah, let's launch. Let me
Okay,
make sure
hold
this
on.
doesn't respawn.
Let me check in some things and then pull and then check
Okay.
in and then launch. So that we're all the same in case yours crashes or mine crashes or whatever.
Crashing's
No,
not
crashes
real.
don't happen, Heather.
Right. I'm a big advocate. I mean, I've been a developer for a very, very long time. Always save and push. Just do it.
Yes, please. Please.
The nice thing is whenever you go to check in or sync, it prompts you to save first.
It does, yes. I love URC.
Yeah.
But please don't learn from us in our commit messages. They're not great.
I don't know why the post process keeps bugging out there. I'll get a bug in for it. Everyone, don't worry.
That's part of why we like doing this, though, is that we get to also see the issues that you guys might be struggling with. So it's fun.
Exactly.
I don't like that one though.
All right. I'm launching session. Give it a minute. If there's any other questions.
Now's the time.
Now is the time for sure. Let's see, there's probably some other ones we can pull up. And if there's any new ones you have in the meantime, make sure you toss them in chat as well.
Yeah. And I'm going to switch over to share my audio.
Just as a quick refresh for any of those who may have joined late, what all tooling did you use so far throughout this? Was it exclusively the Walking Dead devices and assets and stuff so far?
All right. That's a great question. So we started with one of the Walking Dead Island templates. There are two to choose from. And it kind of turned it into like a prison island. But it starts out as like a really great detailed prison. So if you want like an easy level off the bat, I mean, doing what I did and just taking some of that and moving things around and increasing the size of the building by like fivefold and whatever, it's a great opportunity to do that. I used Sequencer to build out this whole starting cinematic.
Which is a standard device.
Yeah, it's a UE tool, and then we used some standard Fortnite devices to track when you're eliminating the walker and give you gold for it. A conditional button to track, that you have the gold. You're inputting it and open up the door.
To spawn the walker, we used a standard NPC spawner, but then we used the walker assets to bring in the specific NPC type and customize it.
Yep. Set up the NPC definition there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then most of the assets that we actually dragged and dropped into the world for the visual look and feel, with the exception of the glass, were from The Walking Dead. The glass I just pulled from the content browser.
Yeah. All right. I am ready to share my screen.
It's still loading on my side, Josh.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh.
pinwheeling. Might need to restart it just to be safe.
All right.
You know, the classic, turn it on and off again.
Okay. How about now?
Maybe go into your editor and turn that stability back down to low. Or scalability, sorry. Because it's still pinwheeling. You know what? Hold on, let me click launch. Maybe I can share.
This is what I get for saying that crashes weren't real. That's the universe coming back for me.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't add audio. There we go. Let's see if this works.
Oh man.
Sorry, everyone. We promise we want to show you the end result.
All right.
You're in suspense. We're ending the stream right here. You'll never know.
You guys will never know the final result.
That's the real spooky part of it, is the unknown.
Okay, hold on. I've got to fix which window is showing. I should be sharing Fortnite now, but it's not loaded quite yet, so give me one more second. No, it should be screen.
I bet there's like a service issue or something.
Is there another way? Got it. More options. Let's see here. Screen. Fortnite application. We're gonna share it with sound. Also share application audio. Let's do it. Okay. With any luck, this is the last loading screen
Failing to
that
start.
we have to see. I promise we want to show you. It's so cool. Okay, Josh, it looks like mine's running, and I just have to hit start. All right. So can we go back to this and I will press start? Okay, perfect.
Mm, no audio. And your settings are so low, Heather.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Come
I can't run with higher settings. I'm sorry you don't hear the bell tolling, but there is a bell
on.
tolling.
Where's Lumen?
You know what? At least it's running so that people can see it. Well, there's already a walker over there walking around. Nice and creepy. All right. I'm sorry it's not perfect, but all right, I got some gold.
Dang, the aim though.
Look at that weapon skin.
I know. Isn't it so pretty? You love it. Why are they like just hitting this door? So
They're
that one
waiting.
definitely had more health, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I can pick this up. I don't have enough resources. There aren't enough spawning for me to do it. Well, anyway, it's great. We did good.
You could
Do you want me to? I can't
you-
open this kitchen either.
yeah, you could just quickly end and make it so more spawn, get more gold.
And game. Yes. Let's do it. Well, do we have time? We're right at 1:45, so I don't think we have time to add more right now.
I think if you can do it in the next couple minutes, maybe.
Yeah, I mean
I think
it's quick. You can
Okay.
even
I believe. I believe.
All right, all right, all right. I'm
We
going
got
over.
this.
Going over to the
Speed run.
zombie. You won't be able to see it, but I'm changing it. So give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Click in the
I
zombie.
believe you.
I don't know why it didn't spawn 5. I do now know why it didn't spawn 5. It's because we didn't tell it to. Okay. Save. Save. Push. Let's get the update. We're uploading. Validating. So close. So very, very close. Uploading. Hey, sorry, I was wrong about the waiting screen. We have one more. It's here now. You can see it's happening.
That's okay.
Also, I appreciate y'all judging my aiming. Thanks for that.
It was good. It was good. What do you mean?
Josh, what do you want me to change here in these settings to,
um I think I fixed my stream.
Oh, okay. Sure. Oh yeah, I have it on performance mode right now. Sorry. Oh no, I would have to totally restart. I'm not doing that. If yours is
We're
working.
running performance mode?
Yes, because it kept crashing because I have an issue with my driver. Sorry.
All right.
Now we have to
Fair.
roast Josh's. It's only fair.
Fair.
All right, I did fix the zombie though.
Nice. Well, I'll just make
Um,
everything
but I didn't push it for you, so you're
that's
gonna have
okay.
to
I'm just gonna make everything cost nothing.
Great.
Everything's free here.
In the Walker apocalypse, everything is free.
As it should be.
As it should be.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay.
And in an ideal world, I've disabled the HUD for this cutscene, but we can't all be perfect.
I mean, this is a live building short session. There are lots of things we wanted to fix, but I'm really proud of what we've already accomplished here today.
Me too. All right.
That really does feel like something is coming up
It
on the
Well, that's
character.
why I
really
spawned
does.
one directly behind you.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That was like perfect comedic timing. I'm like, what? One behind me? All right.
that brings me so much joy. All right, go pick up the bat.
I unlock. Turn the
Turn
lights
on the
on.
lights. Oh,
Boom.
look at the beautiful lights.
You can see the beautiful lumen.
Yeah, no first
Yeah.
person on the bat yet.
All right. Well, we looked at it. We checked it out.
It's pretty cool though. It's got like a slam attack and a heavy swing on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, but that's a little demo we've got for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you understand the vision and can go and use these tools and make something similar or completely different. But it was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Lots to learn, especially with these great new tools and assets and everything that have been included with this. I'm really excited to see what other folks end up making too.
Us too. We cannot wait to play the games when you can publish them soon. I don't know exactly the date, but I know it's soon.
Yeah.
Soon, TM.
Go check out the blog. It has all the dates and information about when you can submit for moderation and when you can publish and all of the good details there. And we're so excited about this new tool set. It's a nice evolution of the tool set that you already had access to, but being able to partner with The Walking Dead is such a cool opportunity. So we hope you take advantage of it and we hope you learned something cool today.
Yeah. No more cartoony purple enemies. Real walkers.
Got the spooks. We've got the spooks in here. They're ready now. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to walk through this and build this really awesome experience with us today. And thank you so much, everyone who came to watch the show and ask questions and be part of the process. It wouldn't be what it is without you. This is for you, so you can see how these can be used, and then hopefully you can go out and make even cooler experiences that we can see ourselves later too. If you popped in on the show late and you missed anything earlier, that's no worries because we post all of our streams in video format that can be viewed on demand on both our Twitch and YouTube channel at Unreal Engine, as well as our YouTube channel at Fortnite Create. And if you haven't already, I also highly recommend that you go join the Epic Developer Community, which is where we house documentations, the forums, all the wonderful, awesome things that Heather had mentioned throughout the stream as well. So go check that out. Pretty much everything you could need in regards to information, meeting other creators, all that kind of stuff is available to you there. But that's it for today. One last big thank you to our wonderful guests and the great experience that you built for us. And we'll see the rest of y'all in the next build along. Thanks so much,
All right.
everybody.
See you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.